Good morning.
Good morning, mate.
Let's talk then about that missed penalty from a man who took plenty during his career. Would something like that have affected you?
Don't know until you're in that circumstance, but you have to kind of reset yourself. Bruno goes, picks the ball up, takes himself away, and goes again. Are we actually blaming the referee? That his mindset that he actually takes a bad penalty? Like he's missed the penalty. That's a scenario. He comes out and says, like, yeah, the referee didn't apologise to me. That's one thing. But then he says, it's not his fault that I took a bad penalty. Which just get on with it. Reset yourself, take the penalty you've missed. And then for the manager to come out and say that it affected him for the remainder of the game, well, because he has so much responsibility. He's a Manchester United captain. He is the penalty taker. He's ultimately the match winner for them 9 times out of 10. But yesterday it just felt like, because of one small incident that happened with the referee, that it affected his whole game. Well, if that's a scenario and the manager can see that, take him off.
There's 2 points, I guess, to it. The back part of what we heard from Bruno Fernandes there, he says, it upset me because the referee didn't apologise. That is what triggered me in that moment. But that's not the excuse for missing the penalty. So, in a way, he's saying I'm not making an excuse for it, but you're mentioning it. So, therefore, you are trying to make a little bit of an excuse for it.
We can all see the referee accidentally bumped him, but he doesn't even know. Bruno's stepping back. The referee's making sure everyone's out the box and he's walking around. He's not exactly barged into him heavily, has he? Just like bumped into him, that's it. And then Bruno makes a big meal of it, like he goes to the ball, waving his arms about. I don't know. I think sometimes we do look at Bruno's reactions a lot because he's the Tasmanian, he is Manchester United captain, but ultimately he don't help himself a lot of the time.
And that was what I found interesting, and I'm predicting a conversation, but interesting when the players came back out for the second half, that he's still talking to the referee. Now, that might be a totally separate conversation, but it sort of gives the impression that he's still a little bit affected by the penalty miss.
It could have been about anything, but I think we look at it now, especially what Ruben Amorim's come out and said it like affecting his performances, we could see. I think we go through it, you have to let it go. But he's Manchester United captain, right? The spotlight's going to be on him all the time, regardless. That's the issue. But come on, you missed a penalty, you took a bad one. The referee he's literally just bumped into you, hasn't give you a big push or anything like that. It was accidental, you got to move on from it. But unfortunately, yesterday, he allowed it to affect his whole performance.
And that is more the key point there, that Ruben Amorim says it, that he was clearly affected by it. Gary Neville touched on it as well. You will know as a striker, I assume, the big thing is you've missed easy chances in your time. You can't then go around the rest of the game thinking about it.
That's the thing. Like, ball comes across 6 yards out, keep making saves, or you completely fluff the chance. You think, right, in your mind, you think, right, next one, I'm going to put it in. The next one. And even if you miss the next one, 2 or 3, you want to get in that position to score again. He's missed a penalty, which we all know that normally he puts them away. His penalty record speaks for itself. As the chances come yesterday, he's still going to be worrying about the penalty miss. And I know I've said it before, but look, it affected his performance yesterday. It really did, where Manchester United needed him and they needed their captain.
We are going to get another perspective from it as well. Sky Sports have partnered with Fanalyst, an app where passionate fans known as Fanalysts share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, you can do. Just scan that QR code on your screen and visit the Sky Sports app for more details. Manchester United Fanalyst Adam Stott joins us now. Good morning. How did you see the incident?
Morning, fellas. Hope you're both doing well. Yeah, like most Manchester United fans, I think Charlie pretty much summed it up there. Get on with the game. You missed a penalty. Yes, I know all players have their set routines and everything has to be precise and the whole walk back, certain amount of steps and things like that, but you just do it again. Get on with the game, take the penalty, score. Bruno blazing one over, I think was kind of strange for us anyway, because he usually just slots them in nice and low. So I think it was all his just technique, really. I don't think the actual bump into the referee should really be looked into. It's a penalty. He probably takes about 50 to 100 of them all the way through the week in different training sessions. He knows what he's doing. And again, would we have been talking about it if United have won the game? Probably not. And that's how I'm honestly going to look at it right now. No excuse.
I'm glad you come up with that and said that, because like if Man United won the game, then would we be talking about it? But it's down to like his performance. The way he performed yesterday was almost like reflection of he missed a penalty and he's allowed it to affect him the whole time instead of like, look, just getting onto it. But also I find that we're always going on about him because of the way he reacts in certain scenarios through disappointments. But also remember, he is Manchester United's captain. I know that's been a big thing we spoke about for years and years about them having a main leader. that's what sometimes I feel like he comes under that bit where he lets himself down like he did yesterday.
Yeah, the petulant side of things, I think, is what you're alluding to there, Charlie, because the fans, a lot of opposition fans would always say, we've had fans singing in the away sections at Old Trafford, singing he's going to cry in a minute because he's constantly moaning at the referee and they're trying to get his way. I mean, a lot of the foreign players are different to English, and I understand the mentality side of things is different, the game's played differently, but I think that's why he comes under more scrutiny as well, because he is like that, actually, with every single decision on the pitch. Everything has to be bang on. And it could be just a little incident on the pitch and he's straight at the referees. And that's United's captain. And when you're not performing well, when you're not winning, when Bruno's not scoring goals and he's had the poor season that he's had to the start of the season, all the scrutiny then turns to the negative side of his game. And it's easy when United are where they are to go for the top. For instance, off the pitch, it's the ownership, then it's the manager. Then you go to the captain on the pitch when things are going wrong. And Bruno is there, and he doesn't help himself, like you said, Charlie, with the way he naturally is in every single game.
I guess the defence, the counter-argument would be, imagine where Manchester United would have been last season without Bruno Fernandes in particular and what he contributed to the team. Let's bring in another point of view on Bruno Fernandes and his future. We have been asking for your voice notes. We've had the one this morning from Manchester United fan John. This is what he's had to say about how he sees Bruno Fernandes' role at United moving forward.
Bruno has been good for us for the time he's been at Manchester United, but I think now I think they need to cash in on him.
Adam?
Yeah, that Saudi link has been there throughout the summer. We've had, I think, 3 different Saudi clubs come in now. One from the start of the window, £100 million bid. Can we rebuild a whole new midfield? I will tell you this right now, most Manchester United fans looking at Ruben's system and trying to shoehorn Bruno into a number 8 role is clearly not working. A lot of fans picked up on Smith Rowe and Iwobi's interview with Sky yesterday, explaining how they found it easy to get through Manchester United's midfield. If the opposition can see it, the fans can see it, then it's clearly there, and there is a big problem. Like, Bruno is a 10, and I think a lot of people now are looking at this like, if you are going to go out and invest in 2 more 10s in Cunha and Mbeumo, then surely you would need to put money into the midfield as well. Why are we getting replacements for Bruno and still playing Bruno is the question that a lot of Manchester United fans have asked this summer. We effectively started the game yesterday with 5 number 10s in Ahmad, Mount, Bruno, Cunha and Mbeumo in a system that allows you to play 2. It's a problem we've got
Adam,
right now.
Would you have sold Bruno? Would you have sold Bruno, Adam? Would you have sold him?
Would I have sold Bruno Fernandes? I had this debate with every single Manchester United fan myself. If I knew that money was going straight back into Manchester United, £100 million, you cannot turn down for a 30-year-old player. If it's going back into the squad and you're investing it well in positions we need, then you sell that player. Bruno's going to be gone in 2 years. Is he the future of this football club? No. Has he been great for us? Yes. And that sentimental part of your fan attitude to what's going on at your football club is always going to kick in. He is a legend and I will fight his cause every day of the week. But right now, we are not looking at a future with Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes. We're looking at rebuilding under Ruben Amorim. And Bruno in that midfield is clearly not working. Gary Neville said it himself yesterday. I've heard Wayne Rooney talking about it today. It's just not right in the middle, and sacrifice has to be made. And it's a lot of money for a player that we are probably not going to have in our team in 2 years' time. Do you take the plunge now, I think, is the big debate amongst all Manchester United players, all United fans.
I think that's too late now. We can't be saying, do we take the plunge? Because, like we say, was it a month ago, 6 weeks ago, when it said £100 million, everyone's like, oh, can't sell him. And then a lot of people were saying, yeah, we need to, if we can invest into the team. If Man United, the money's going into the team. I think it almost goes now as that £100 million is not coming back. It'd be interesting.
Do you think it might do? I mean,
yeah, but it'd be interesting to see if they do come back with 100 million. It'd be interesting to see.
Does he not feel like the sort of player that particularly the Saudi Pro League clubs will always have a look at? Maybe not for 100 million, but still a high price.
But also now, on the flip side of that, are we saying he comes under the scrutiny because he's the captain? So we talk about how his actions are on the pitch, but because he's actually the only one that can bring the money in, that can help rebuild Man United. So if he goes, they can rebuild. They haven't got anybody else, really.
That's exactly it, what Charlie said there. It's like earlier on in the window, when we've not played any games, it's a different debate. But now you've seen 2 games into a season, it's all gone wrong. We've not scored a goal. We spent 200 million on a strike force, and we've still not scored a goal ourselves yet this season. Everyone's looking at that side of it. Could we have changed something in midfield? And it's easy to criticise once you've seen some performances come in and things not go well. But this was a completely different argument earlier on in the summer. But I think what's brought it home with a lot of Manchester United fans is that, yes, we played well against Arsenal, was unlucky in that game. But yesterday, the question would have been, can we do it against no disrespect to Fulham, a mid-table team that are just going to work hard, be dogged, and make it difficult for United?
Adam, we've had this conversation before. Adam, we had this conversation before. What's Man United?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say, Charlie. I know you.
No, not like that. But you know what I mean. If we are talking like Fulham, what are Man United at this moment? Like at this moment.
Realistically, we're a mid-table team at the moment because of where we finished. But you spend that amount of money on the quality of player that you've brought in, you expect more.
Yeah,
and if United don't get into Europe, then United don't survive. The whole business model of the football club is based around Manchester United competing at the highest level. If you're not there, what do you have to do next? What happens next?
Adam, just another thing on what Man United are. There has always been a very proud history of having academy graduates in and around the squad for a long time. Charlie, where do you see Kobbie Mainoo's future at the moment?
Has to be at Manchester United, doesn't it?
Not played.
I know he hasn't played, but as you're looking at it, you're thinking, if he hasn't played, where does he go? Who's crying out for what Kobbie Mainoo can do? Manchester United. So what is going on?
Charlie, on this?
Yeah.
Can I just ask you, Charlie, where do you think Kobbie Mainoo will play? What's his position?
Well, I think it's a knock-on effect with the Bruno scenario, isn't it? We're trying to fit everybody in and make it happen. You've got all the number 10s there now.
Another 10.
But I said last week, how I see Bruno against Arsenal, he's getting the ball off the back four. That's not Bruno Fernandes. That's not what Man United fans want to see. That's not what football fans want to see. For me, he's ineffective in his own half. In the attacking half, he's a match winner.
Yeah, just to bring in a WhatsApp from Ryan before we go back to you, Adam. He says, what has Kobbie Mainoo got to do to start for Manchester United? Star boy last year, doesn't even get a look in, and have an aged Casemiro starting ahead of him. Go on.
The Casemiro one fascinates me, because I think he almost becomes like the scapegoat because everyone says it's an ageing Casemiro. The guy won 5 Champions League. I understand that, right? And that's what it is. But he's in there. But Bruno's is the one that's playing out of position. Kobbie Mainoo should be playing in there, not Bruno. Bruno should be playing up high on the pitch or not be in the starting 11. But you can't have Bruno Fernandes not being a part of the starting 11 for Manchester United.
To go back to the Mainoo thing there and what the WhatsApp said also on there, it's like, what does Kobbie Mainoo have to do? He's not played a full season yet. His injury record has allowed him to play approximately half, but maybe a full season in 2 seasons with his injuries. People don't take into account here. They don't know where Kobbie Mainoo's best position is. He's come through Ten Hag. He's been played all over the place. I watched Kobbie Mainoo through Manchester United's academy. He's effectively another 10. He's not an 8. He doesn't get up and down the pitch. This is where he came through and played. And he came into United's team as an attacking midfielder. Another one. And again, this is where it comes down to recruitment. Kobbie Mainoo wasn't the star player for Manchester United last season. His performances dropped off like everybody else. And this brings up the other debates. Are we hyping our academy players and players at the club more than what they should be? Because they're not at our level. They're not a chance to develop. And Kobbie's played in, I can remember off the top of my head, 4 different positions already. The system is not allowing these players to play in their favourite positions. And we've invested more on top of that this summer in causing more of a problem as well in that area.
Yeah, Adam, on that, I think we're talking about hyping up academy players, but I feel like Manchester United have to, because they have to grab hold of that, because the money signings that are coming in are not performing. So
but that shows you where we're at then,
yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
It?
But that's Manchester United at the moment. But the bit also, and we got to talk about the Bruno scenario and Kobbie Mainoo. What about the goalkeeper situation?
Oh, God.
That's a massive point. I feel like we're papering over that crack just because we talk about Bruno.
It's a crack we're going to have to come back to, because I want to get 2 more questions in on Manchester United. It's a different show on a Monday morning, but it feels the same as last season. In fact, we could do a good hour on Manchester United quite easily. So 2 sort of wider questions to throw it forward. Firstly, to you, Adam, I hate to overreact given that we're heading into just the 3rd weekend of the season. But given that after the international break, Manchester United play City and Chelsea, is it already must-win territory against Burnley at the weekend?
Yes, Ruben Amorim's win percentage in the Premier League is 24%. He has won 7 games in 29. He's got more games played in the Premier League than he has points. He has to win games. This, like we said, that where are Manchester United right now? We've just been talking about it, but let's be clear here. This is not acceptable when it comes to where Manchester United are. It's a massive football club. He has to beat Burnley. He has to beat Grimsby on Wednesday night. Let's not forget about that. We're in the Carabao Cup second round here, which is unheard of for Manchester United because we're not in Europe. So we've got to beat Grimsby. We can't forget that game because cup competitions might be the saving grace again for Manchester United. So beat Grimsby, beat Burnley. You're going into the Manchester derby then after international break away from home with something to sort of hold on to. Maybe the break will do us good right now after the transfer window ending and the unknown, like Charlie was just saying now, we still don't know who our number one goalkeeper is, let alone the best midfield. But Ruben needs to win 100%.
And therefore, to finish with, Charlie, just to touch on a couple of things Adam has said there, more long-term, and I've said I don't want to react after 2 games of a season, but Ruben Amorim's now had 29 Premier League games in charge. That's 3/4 of the season. He's got 28 points. It's not far above relegation form. Wayne Rooney talking yesterday about how when he makes changes, they don't seem to improve the way that the game is going. A lot is being done recruitment-wise to fit his system. How much longer do you give that?
I think that's the biggest thing, is the recruitment bit. As he keeps bringing players in, now they're his players. Since he's come through the door before, and he's been easy to say them players are from other managers, and rightly so, they don't fit my formation. But now the club have backed him, he's got his players in, they've got to allow him to still be in charge. But the hard bit is about it, as we look, because he's 29 Premier League games, 28 points is what he's got. And I think as much as we've gone about Grimsby is obviously a must-win, Burnley at the weekend's a must-win. Isn't every game for Manchester United a must-win? Yeah. Isn't that what Manchester United are? They're a massive club, they're a big club. They're going through a terrible run year after year recently. But isn't a must-win all the time for Manchester United?
Yeah, yes it is. Because last season we took points off all of the big teams. Everyone who finished in the Champions League places, United took points from. Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal. We had good performances against all of these teams. But that, you would say, is pretty much like a mid-table team would turn up for the big games. We've got to get rid of this mentality and this bad run that Charlie's going on about here. Otherwise, you will end up being mid-table season after season. You will be looked at as a fallen giant. It just brings it back to the recruitment and buying players that are necessary and getting rid of the players that are just not going to feature. We've got two midfielders, so-called midfielders there, sat on the bench in Agate and Kobbie Mainoo that can't get on the pitch because Bruno Fernandes is there. I think he's just got too much to do right now, and this is a massive week for Manchester United in the transfer window. Do we go out and spend more money, or do we try and fix what we've got right now? It's a tough one to call, but I think a lot of Manchester United fans would say now we need to go out and buy another midfielder because there isn't one at the club. We don't effectively have a proper number 8 at Manchester United. We don't really have. Our number 6s are not good enough, and we have 7 number 10s in this club right now. The balance is all off, and I think it is going to affect any system for any manager, but Ruben Amorim right now, with the pressure of that record that you've just mentioned there and the amount of wins he's got in the Premier League, he needs to find something very, very quickly because it could easily go away from him very quickly. And before Christmas comes, you know what the headlines are going to be. There's only going to be one man on that hot seat and in the spotlight, and that's Ruben Amorim.
Adam, good to speak to you as ever. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if you want to send us a voice note, leave us a message on WhatsApp. All you need to do is scan the QR code that is on your screen. It will take you straight there. The WhatsApp number is 07514 917 075. You can also give us your views on X, Instagram and Facebook and use the hashtag SkySportsFC.